Grand River Foods is somewhat indicative of all our competitors in this field, in that there's so many career choices within a food processing unit. Obviously, from the beginning stage, there's people that have to work with the farmers. There's agribusiness specialists that will ensure that the crop, whatever crop you're producing, in our case it happens to be chicken, is exactly the way we want it when it's ultimately delivered to the plant. So there's the agribusiness side. Once it arrives here, you've got shipping and receiving and handling. It's got to go through the plant, so there's people that process the chicken itself. There's supervisors that oversee what's being done. Then when the plant has been used, there's people that have to clean it, so it's a full sanitation system. There's people that are responsible for all the further processing of the chicken, which means the cut up, the cooking process, the handling of all that product, the packaging of the product to get it into portion-sized containers. There's lab personnel that have to help with the quality assurance. There's product development people who help invent the product itself. There's salespeople that have to sell it. There's accounting people that have to buy product in, pay the bills, ensure that we collect our money from our customers. There's probably 50 different occupations within the business unit from start to finish. There's administrators that help run the business. There's certainly senior management that direct the day-to-day, and then there's even more senior management that direct the strategy of the business. So, whole multitude of careers. Certainly we train our people to work with this high-tech, very, very expensive equipment. Some of these pieces of equipment cost well over $2 million. So it takes a special person to work with that, and they have to have the aptitude, but not necessarily the skill. We're prepared to train them on the skill. In terms of installing the equipment, maintaining the equipment, that's a special breed. That's a high-skilled employee that very often we have to find those skills, and that's increasingly becoming difficult, and why I think a food processing institute would be very, very beneficial in Ontario. The research shows that 4 out of 5 CEOs in Ontario agree with me on this point, that high-skilled labor to run these high-tech plants is the #1 issue facing us for the next 5 years. So it's clearly an industry-wide phenomena that as long as we're going to be doing further processing, we're going to be having high-tech equipment. And as long as we're going to have high-tech, expensive equipment in our plants, we need personnel to be able to run it, fix it, keep our plants going, because it's very expensive to have downtime. And that's going to come through a high-skilled workforce. We have human resources personnel at each of our facilities that are responsible to support the plant managers in terms of recruiting. So it's not uncommon for them to be doing open houses. It's not uncommon for them to be at career days. It's not uncommon to go into high schools and talk to high school students, go into college, talk to them. Certainly newspaper advertising, Workopolis on the internet. We're forever using whatever variety of source. The best one we have, the best recruiting tool we have, is word of mouth. It's simply putting the word out and asking people to contact their friends, their relatives, their colleagues who may or may not have been in the food processing industry, but it's people that they would like at their side as a colleague, that they would trust to work with for 8 hours each day. Those are the kind of people we want to see. In terms of training and development, each of the plants has a full training program in terms of taking a new employee, orientating them to the work environment, because it is a different work environment than people are accustomed to. It can often be climatically a very cool environment. There's a lot of odors of spice and food smells around, so it's different than an office workplace. The conditions can be a little different, so people have to adjust. As they move through their first few days on the job, ultimately they're moving into a full training and development. So if they want to become machine operators, there's ways to do that. If they want to get a high skill, there's ways to apprentice into that job and take advantage of the government's apprenticeship program and utilizing us as a catalyst to get that done. The other thing we will do is do in-house seminars and in-house training. We've had supervisory training here by third parties. So, whole variety of training and development mechanisms.